Hey, and welcome to Tech Tips with Solo Media. I'm Amanda, and today I have PGYTECH's heat-resistant photography gloves. And this is actually an excellent product. Let me take it out of the package here, somehow. There. Why I say it's an excellent product before I open the package is because I've used tech gloves for lighting over the years a lot because it's actually a big safety concern. I've been responsible for crews as well and have made my crews wear all kinds of safety gear when they do lighting, sometimes even safety glasses, because if you're working with an aluminum rig and somebody over tightens it and it's above your head, if you go to loosen it, some aluminum shreds can fall into your eye. So safety is a big issue, especially if you're responsible for a crew. I'm going to toss the bag. All right. So you get some instruction manuals if you don't know how to use gloves. There's Linus has lost it. We got a sticker, and here's the actual gloves with all kinds of like reading material. So I'm just going to detach these so we could get a better look at them. You never know, Linus. There are people out there that this could be very difficult. Well, Linus might lose it some more. I have some other funny things about these gloves. I thought for sure, I was reading the website, and I was actually with Linus's brother, Christopher, and we were reading, and it said crotch heat resistance. And he was like, it must be a spelling mistake. It must be scorch. And I was like, yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it is scorch. But then once we like looked at the packaging deeper, no, it is actually crotch. So they call this right here the glove's crotch. And it is extra heat resistant on the crotch of the glove. So anyway, there we go. These are very nice, very comfortable. So what you have on the front here is your heat resistant material. On the back, you have a very breathable material. The whole glove is made of polyester and microfiber. You have two fingers that are, conductive, so that you can use your touch screen on your phone. Let's take a look at that real quick. I got a phone right here. Oh, today's news. Look, so I'll just turn on the camera. There you go. And oh, it's already got a picture of my hand crotch. There we go. I'll turn it that way. But yeah, see? It works great with the touch, which is nice, because sometimes when you're working and your boss calls you or whoever is calling you and you're actually get your hands full and gloves on, it's nice to be able to not have to take the gloves off every 5 seconds to answer the phone or to check something on the list. But yeah, microfiber, polyester. And what I have to say about that, just so that you guys know, is polyester is heat or flame combustible, for combustible. It won't combust easily, but once it does light on fire, it melts rapidly. So these gloves are not for sticking in fire. They are for dealing with things that are hot. Do not put them in fire, okay? Because if they do catch, they'll melt and you'll have severe burning on your hands, just so that you know. But this whole area here has heat resistance. This back area where it's breathable is not at all heat resistant. So over the years, I've always used tech gloves. These are some of the ones that I've used in the past. And they didn't really make gloves specifically for our industry when I started, but I found mechanic gloves are quite great. These are Dakota. You can get them at Mark's if you're in Canada. But they also have protection on the front and grip strength, but they have protection on the back too, like rubber. And I've had them before with whole protection on the knuckles and everything, so that it protects you from damaging or bumping into or having something drop on your hand. And these are phenomenal. They don't have, because they're older, they don't have the touchscreen capability. I think I bought these 10 years ago. But I've always used them for lighting because, especially in the days of halogen lights, they get very hot. And the airy lights and all those, they get super hot. So I always had a couple pairs of these in my tech kit, in my toolbox for when we were out doing shooting. But something else with these, they have good grip. I will say this, these tech gloves are thicker. And that's both an advantage and a disadvantage. They don't have the breathable material on the back. Neither of them do. But they are way, way thicker. You're going to get more breathability here and more mobility here than with these bigger gloves. But you lose that protection on the backside. And there is, like I said, no heat protection on the back of these gloves. But dexterity-wise, I'm going to try to open Linus's knife. Helps if I open the Velcro the right way. There we go. Yeah, so no problem opening the pliers. If I want to open the knife, yeah, no problem opening the knife either. And then closing the knife. Where's your lock for the knife part? Backside again, okay. Mine's different. I have the wave and you have the rebar. Yeah. So anyway, and then it's supposed to be, I brought the C-stand in nice and close to us because it's supposed to help you grip-wise too. Yeah, there's no issue with that. One thing with the C-stands, having the extra grip, because once you get all your lights on the top of the C-stand and then you have to lift it up, you don't want this bar sliding down and pinching your fingers. It's nice to have the grip and the grip in the crotch. Why did they call it that? That's what it says on the website, folks. I hope they change it. But anyway, yeah. So the inset between your thumb and your finger is what we're going to call it from now on. The inset. So Linus doesn't lose his mind behind the camera. Fine. When you think of crotch protection, I think of hockey. I think of cups. And then grip. So with my bare hands, I can't pick up that soccer ball. I might not be able to with my gloved hand either, but I thought it would be a neat test to see if I can. No way. No. That's a failed test. How can I don't know. Yep, never mind that one. Well, folks, sometimes the tests are real. All right. Now I got a couple of field things for you. I'm going to show you with a heat meter, us taking something out of the oven with these and see how they compare to oven mitts. And then we're actually going to go over into one of our studios that we work with and fix some lights so you can see them doing what they're really actually supposed to do. But yeah, I do find them grippy. Not grippy enough to help me be a basketball player, though. Sorry. All right, over to the field. Over to specs. The PGYTECH heat-resistant photography gloves come in 3 sizes. The net weight is 62 grams for the medium, 66 grams for the large, and 70 grams for the extra large. These gloves can be washed in water not exceeding 40 degrees Celsius. The palm and thumb crotch are made from microfiber materials for slip-resistant durability and breathability. The Y-worm insulation in the palm and thumb block high temperatures, breathable mesh on the back of the hand for comfort and ventilation, and have full finger protection on the front of the hand. And the index and thumb have microfiber for touchscreen use. Okay, so I got my thermal reading meter gun here, and I got the PGYTECH, look here. Through the glass, you can see it's already 30 degrees Celsius in there. But I got my PGYTECH glove on. I can't stress enough. So I got my oven mitt. If you're going to be dealing with fire stuff, use Kevlar. Don't use these gloves. They're not what they're for, okay? But we're going to see how much I feel the heat from the French fries that I'm currently burning. I put them on 300, which is not advised by the package. The package said like 200. just so you know. We're dealing with Celsius. So when I open this window, whew, Lord have mercy. All right. So I'm getting some readings in there of 250 in the back of the oven. The pan itself looks like it's at 230 or 200 and something like that. You see right there, 213 on the edge of the pan. Okay. Yep. Yeah. I'm going to try to touch it with this glove. Now, again, I'm very nervous because there's no, at the very tips, there's no heat protection. So, but let's see if I can just sort of grab it like that. Oh, yeah, that's fine. I'm going to use the oven mitt to stabilize, but like, look at that. That's totally okay. That's 100% okay. Only now do I start to feel it just a little bit in the thumb. So maybe the thumb is, hold on, let me hold it, and then let's get a reading on the actual thumb. So I'm holding it, and once again, the temperature on the edge of the pan is now close to 100 some degrees Celsius, where my hand is. And let's see, there's the, oh, let's go away from the heat, sorry, because it's just, there's my finger. So almost 50 degrees at the finger.
And it looks fine.
Yeah.
Fingers.
All right. So back to my face. Linus and I are going to eat some French fries. But just so you know, they hold up. All right. Over to the studio. Oh, hello there. Well, hello there. All right, so I get the PGYTECH heat resistant gloves on, and I gotta say, I used to do lighting a lot more when I was maybe in my 30s, but and back then we only dealt with the hot halogen lights, and this is one of these hot halogen lights. I can actually feel the heat on my hand. Some LED lights today are still actually quite warm, and having gloves like this is epic. When I used to do more tech and lighting and more grip work back in the day, especially with the sports crew, I always had gloves on, but they didn't really make them for TV techs. They made them for auto mechanics. So I would go to the shop that had the gloves for mechanics with the fine detailing, and those were often what I bought. I had hundreds of pairs, and there was a good reason for it. There's a lot of things, not just heat, that come into play when you're working with these lights. You could be midway through a setup and last minute have the director come and tell you that something's going to change. And if these have been on for a while, they're hot to the touch and they can be very dangerous. I want to point out something to you just while we have the opportunity to be up here. Safety wires. All of our lights have safety wires on them. Every light needs to have them on because the clamps don't always hold all the way. And I was up in one rig one time at a place that was new to me, a new group that we were working with, and they only used the clamps. And somebody kept on spinning the light back and forth, kind of like adjusting it like this. And what had happened was it had loosened the bolt. Loosened the bolt from the light. And when I went up to try to adjust it, it actually fell in my hand. And if I hadn't had my tech gloves on at the time, I would have burnt my whole hand trying to catch the body. And I mean, it was a concussion hazard. It was a burn hazard. It could have been a fall hazard because I was up on a ladder in a grid like this. And that's why as many safety precautions as you can take, if I didn't have my gloves that day, and again, like those were mechanics gloves, but if I didn't have them, I could have had a much worse outcome from that. But always make sure you get two supports, the clamp and the safety wire when you're dealing with lights. But let's get on to why we're actually touching on light. These gloves, each glove has a heat-resistant tip on them. I would never touch an LED, by the way. It would burn the glove to the LED. They can be very, very hot. One time we took a board just to try to see where the shading could be, and it caught the board on fire right away. I just had like a little clipboard. And I was like, if we block here, and poof, it started to burn right away. Like it got a big focus spot on it. It was a Fresnel anyway with an LED in it, but still, yeah. If you have to go up and adjust something, like for example, put a frost filter on something like this, you need articulation for one, and you need to be able to deal with the heat. See if I can deal with the heat. You need to not drop your paper clip. It's better if you don't have paper clips, by the way. This particular location, they use paper clips. I prefer clamps, but so right now I feel the heat like crazy on my wrist, but not at all on the actual gloves itself. Just adjusting that there. Paper clips are garbage. Yes, they are. And I have to come around to the other side to get the other paper clip. But you can see it makes a much better deal when you have zero risk of burning your hand or less risk of burning your hand. I can touch any part of this light pretty much to adjust it, adjust the barn doors or whatever, and it's good. The other thing that you need to consider when you're dealing with lights, because you're screwing the clamps often into these aluminum grids. You're going to just tilt up again, Christopher. When you're screwing into these aluminum grids up here, can you see here? That actually can leave metal shards on the grid itself. And there's been times when I've been running cables along the grid that I've gotten aluminum splinters in my finger. And having tech gloves will prevent you from having those aluminum splinters get into your skin. They're too fine to get into, or not long enough usually to get into the glove. It's one extra layer of protection that you have for these. These gloves are also, Jacob's calling me right now, they're also touch. So I could actually use my iPhone screen or my iPad or my Apple Watch with these gloves. So that's another great feature. They have heat protection in the center too. So if you accidentally come down in between the thumb and the finger, you actually have that heat shield in there. And the last thing is they have good grip. So if you're carrying a heavy light, they're not going to slip off. Or if you're going up the ladder, you see here, follow that hand. They're going to be fine. All right. So there's our field test. And actually, I can hold my hand there pretty good. That is really hot on the backside. That's actually on the backside, very hot. It's just mesh, breathable mesh on the back. My tech gloves that I got from the mechanic shop actually had a heat shield on the back too, because if they were working with engines, you could burn yourself quite easy. But yeah, this way I feel nothing. That way, definitely hot. All right. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Oh, any questions, comments, like and subscribe. We'll see you later.